everybody, it is your boy Cal back with another video for you guys. Today we are going to be taking a close-up look at the one image that we got from the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot scan regarding the new online mode that is going to be a bit different, like I explained in that last video and like you are going to see in this video and with this image right here. Now before we get into it, I want to give a huge shout out to the homie DBZ Hype. As you see, he is the one who got like this enlarged image version of it, because if you were to just zoom in to the actual scan, it would not have looked this clear. Now it's still not the clearest in the world, but it definitely looks better than if you were to just like be on Twitter or something and zoom in to the actual scan. It was blurry as hell because I actually tried to do that. But with this one, we can zoom in quite a bit and we're able to see a good amount of stuff going on here, guys. Like, I've really analyzed this to see, to try and see how much stuff is incorporated and what I could truly figure out from it at the same time. So when you take a look at this, honestly, when I first look at this, the first thing that comes to my mind, it seems like Yu-Gi-Oh almost, like really, like there's a card, you have your cards, there's a card board, you place your cards in place similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, same to Pokemon as well, for any of those who played the old Pokemon TCG, things like that, or those who may still play it till this day. But you have that, you put your cards on the board. It doesn't seem like there's any support or anything of that nature, because I don't see any cards like in the background, like, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh with Magic and Trap cards, they would go in the background. So I'm curious as to whether if there are any supports or anything at all like that you can have like in your deck, and you don't necessarily have to put them on the board, you just have to apply them to the card and maybe they'll get a boost from that. But taking a look at some of the stuff, like for example with this Goku card, first and foremost, I'm curious as to if whether cards have levels or if these are ranks to the cards or something along those lines, because it looked like this Goku right here, which seems, I'm assuming, is like the Kaioken times 4 Goku. It seems that he has a 3 Dragon Ball up in the left hand corner. Now that can again mean multiple things. It could mean the level of maybe the unit, it could, or the card. It could mean like in old Dragon Ball RPGs for like the Nintendo and Super Nintendo, if anyone played those, they were Japanese only, but there were some translated versions in terms of ROMs. There was some other meanings, like there were different versions of the same cards, like there would be different versions of this Kaioken times 4 card, and one would be like a 6-star Dragon Ball, one would be like a 3-star, one would be a 4-star, and depending on the star would depend on how strong the attack is. I don't know if that is how this is incorporated or if it's just the strength of the unit in general, because right here, if you look at Hercule, I believe he has a 3 as well. And I wouldn't think that, you know, Hercule is on the same level as this Goku right here, and it doesn't look like his stats like that. Either looks like a 1 or a 3, so his stats aren't on the same level. So that's that was a bit confusing to me, and I don't know exactly what it means, but it can mean multiple things for sure in terms of that number up there. But then also, as you see, the numbers do go to Z. It looks like right here, like this looks like a Z card on this version of Vegeta. So I'm very interested in that. There is a life point system, as you guys can see. That's another thing that really reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh. Right here there is a 30,000 and 30,000 over here, so I'm assuming that's what every match is set with, and it's not something like, you know, if you got OP cards or something like that, you got more life points and more health than other people. So that's what I'm thinking that is right there, and that's how it's going to work, considering both sides seem to exactly have 30,000 life points apiece, 30,000 health, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it life points because I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, even though it has been a while since I've played an actual Yu-Gi-Oh game. Now another thing I took notice of was this stuff down here. There's 4 different symbols, and if you notice, the symbols are similar to the symbols on the cards right here. Like Goku matches with this symbol right here. Same with Hercule, same with this, I believe that's Kid Trunks right there. Now these units are kind of hard to see. This one definitely is the same as Goku's as well, but this one is a bit different. I think this Vegeta's matches to this right here. So there are definitely different types of units. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to like Dokkan, Legends, and other gachas, where the color of the units have certain strength towards like a different color and then are weak against a different color at the same time. That's what I'm thinking that is right there, but who knows, it could be something different as well. And I'm also curious as to why there are numbers down here and they all read 0, even though we see some on the board. We see one in the top left right here, so I'm very curious about that. as well. Now, the another thing that I took notice of, I think there are like lead units within the game. Because if you take a look, right on the bottom right hand side, you got Goku over here, and then on the left hand side, you got a bigger image of Goku, and then down here, you got Vegeta, and then a bigger image Vegeta, and then the circular Vegeta right here also. So I'm assuming it's the same thing on this side of the board, like maybe like back here, the full image might not be shown or something. Goku, there's like a little circle of Goku or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Like there may be a main, and that main unit may have certain boosts that it applies to other characters or other cards within your deck. That's what I'm thinking. Or it just might be something like, you know, you can choose a character to have on the board for your side and as like your lead, or just your favorite, like in fighters, how you choose a faction. It might be something like that at the same time. But for the most part, guys, that is pretty much everything that I've been able to like really take notice of. Or actually, one other thing, if you look at some of these characters, man, like this Frieza soldier, he doesn't look like a pool. He looks like a gator version of a pool, to be honest. So it looks like they may have incorporated some different kind of characters, because this dude right here also doesn't look like any Frieza soldier I've seen, but he's also green, kind of looks like a dragon. It looks like he has some armor on at the same time. So I'm thinking that they may have made some like different kind of side characters, or you know, maybe that were only seen in like manga or something, because I've never seen these characters from the blurry version of them, at least. But let me know what you guys think about this, because again, my phone alarm, Jesus. Like I was saying, let me know what you guys think about this, because again, this seems like it can be a very, very interesting mode for anybody that is a fan of like Yu-Gi-Oh type games or TCG type games in general. It can be something that could be fairly fun, depending on how, not only how this works in terms of the battle system and how all that goes, but also in how it works in terms of collecting. Like, I just really hope that it's not too easy to collect all the cards. Like, maybe you got to do certain side quests or something along those lines, man. I would just really like to see something like that incorporated, so you're not only focusing on the card aspect when you're playing this mode or trying to get stuff for this mode. Maybe you actually fight like some little side mini bosses or something along those lines to unlock cards. I think that would be pretty cool. Also, I think it would be pretty cool if you got to like find some of them, maybe by talking to certain NPCs or looking throughout the world, because they would just add a little bit more of a true RPG aspect in terms of grinding. Like, you got to go find this stuff, you got to talk to NPCs, things of that nature. Like, you really didn't have to talk to many NPCs besides the ones that were correlated to your missions and side quests within Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So I think that would be cool. But let me know what you guys think again about this and about the close-up and everything that I was able to show you from this close-up version and image of the new mode coming to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. But again, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, hope you have a good day. Peace, y'all.